Good, Cian Corla. Just thinking there, less might be more on this occasion, so I'll be brief enough. Can I just initially put things into context? I was looking at our EU counterparts and how their average processing times are at the moment. And I look across the UK, you're looking anywhere between 10 and 12 weeks, so there is significant delays there as well. And the same is true for many other countries in Western Europe. But I was amused looking at the German one, where people were complaining that their average waiting time for processing, I think, went from 10.4 days to 18.1, which I suppose, given how renowned they are for efficiency, they themselves mightn't be best pleased with. But just to put it into context, this is something that's happening right across the continent, so there is a surge in applications. We have to be cognizant of that. But bearing that in mind, there's still a number of things I think that we can work to improve on. And I acknowledge that there has been a major recruitment drive over the last few weeks, but maybe the Minister in his summation could deal with the case. I think we're aiming to provide for 900 employees. I don't believe that competition is complete yet, and maybe if the Minister in his conclusion could advise us as to where that competition is and how we are likely to fill those 900 jobs as quickly as we can. Also, Minister, I was listening before I came in, and I note your comment in relation to, the Gardaí aren't essentially the only people that can witness it. So, politicians, solicitors, and peace commissioners and whatever else, there's a whole litany of people that can witness these applications on behalf of people, and obviously we would welcome anybody that does need anything witnessed into any of our offices, and if we can be of help, we will try to oblige. That said, just one or two criticisms I have with the current process is the Oireachtas line was established to help members of the House, and while we were restricted to, I think, 5 calls, to be honest, my own office would use it very rarely. We have not found it as efficient or as we had hoped. I did a test on Monday to see how many times the phone would ring out before somebody would answer it, and I won't tell you what the number was, but maybe afterwards I will. It's just not as efficient as it should be, and I do think we need to look at that Oireachtas line as well for ourselves inside here. Just in relation to the guards and people, I suppose the natural reflex is to go into the Garda station and get your form stamped, because that's what people have always done. But there are difficulties, even in my own constituency. Stations like Glanmire, which would have a large urban population, are part-time stations. And my understanding is that people from the Passport Office will make 3 attempts to contact a guard on behalf of the applicant, and if they fail to make contact with the guards in those 3 attempts, the application then has to be issued with a new link, and a new consent form must be submitted again. And this, I suppose, has a knock-on effect of costing 3 to 4 weeks. So that just sounds like a complete waste of time and resources. So I would urge that if that is the case, that they are limiting themselves to 3 attempts at contacting guards, I would ask that would be reviewed, and I suppose they should be cognizant of the part-time hours of many stations and when the guards are not available. Just a comment in relation to paper applications, and I do acknowledge or encourage that people would renew online, as you have said yourself, and the majority of people do. And I would have experience of a number of people that would literally get their passport a day or 2 afterwards, after their online renewal. But obviously the cases here where we're talking about where there's problems, I do believe that there's a certain percentage of the population, and they will always, no matter what the public service is, resort to a paper application. I don't think it's fair or equitable that they would be impinged or restricted on, getting their passport just because they've submitted in one form over another. I don't think that's right. And finally, I suppose we've said it here repeatedly, many of our constituency offices at the moment probably feel like we're working in the Passport Office ourselves, such as the level of interactions that we're having. And it would be helpful if staff in the Passport Offices were dedicated to manning public phone lines there, because an awful lot of time people are coming back to us because they can't get through to the Passport Office, and obviously then we make our representations via email. But I do believe that we need to look at the public line inside there, and the web chat in particular. There's stories of people waiting countless hours as well, and that's something where resources need to be directed. Gormagat.